Hello everyone, this is the recording for week 1. Most grading will be done on the Monday following the Sunday due date. I will try to grade assignments as they come in, but discussions have to be graded after the week is complete. Late work will be accepted with a late penalty unless you contact me in advance. In the case of an emergency, you could contact me soon after the event. No discussion posts will be accepted after a week is complete. Corrections may be made to assignments, but not to the discussions or the midterm. I will post feedback when I have graded your assignments, and you can use that to make corrections. Attendance and participation. Keeping up is very important in an online class. It can quickly become unmanageable when you get behind. Set aside time to work on the class each week. Do not leave everything till Sunday, because that's when you'll find that the internet is down or your computer crashes or something else comes up. Attendance and participation are very important. Just logging in does not count as either. You have to post to an assignment, a discussion, or take a quiz in order to participate and have considered to be attending. You are responsible for knowing when things are due, but I will post announcements, reminders for the week of what's coming up to be due. Please read the assignments carefully. Check your grades often to see how you're doing and what is missing. Contact me if you have any questions about your grades or about the assignments or discussion. For week 1, this is the reading that's in the textbook: Introduction to Technology, Microsoft Office 2013 and Windows 8, and Microsoft Office 365. Make sure you have the correct book that's for Office 2013. You can use Office 2010, Office 2013, or Office 2016, or Office 365, but you still have to have the correct book. Now, if you use one of these others, for instance, if you're using 2010, there will be some differences between that and 2013. The same with 2016. So if you're trying to do something and you can't figure it out how, you can either ask me, because I do have 2013 and 2016. I have 13 on my laptop and I have 2016 on my desktop, so I'll be able to help you with that. And I've used 2010, so we can get through any of that problem. The discussion is on file management. Read the topic and make sure you address each part. Then the week 1 assignment is the scavenger hunt. For the discussion, you're going to create a new thread for the initial response, and it's due Wednesday by 11:59. So each week you have a discussion due on Wednesday. The initial response must be at least 100 words with at least one APA formatted reference. Do not forget to use in-text citation to indicate what information came from the reference you are citing. Initial posts must address the topic for the week. So for instance, if you just post something and it has nothing to do with the topic, it will not count as the initial response. You're to reply to 3 other learners by Sunday, but your discussions need to cover at least 3 days. So if you leave them all 3 till Sunday, you will lose some points. So for instance, maybe you post 2 on Wednesday, 1 on Friday, and 1 on Sunday. Then you would get all the points. Remember, no discussion posts are allowed after the week is done. So what makes a good discussion post or response to other learners? Thorough use of key terms and concepts related to the discussion, incorporates the textbook and other academic or professional resources, real life experiences that relate to this discussion. So if you've had some real life experience, you can use that. Even if your whole post is something that you know, you are still required to have a reference. So look up something that you don't know so that you can put it in your post and include a reference. A demonstration of analytic and cognitive thinking, use of current events if they're applicable, which probably won't be for most of our discussions. Use of correct spelling, grammar, and punctuation with no errors. APA references. Check the HU APA tip sheet. It can be found in the library. So if you go to the library, you scroll down, and the tip sheet is listed under formatting and citation. Page 3 is for the book. Page 6 is for any web references you have. So references should be at the bottom of the discussion post, and in-text citations should be used to indicate what information came from the source that you're using. So for instance, if I wrote a paragraph and it was from the book, and then I would at the end put the author, the year. Now if it's a direct quote from the book, you must put the page number. If it's from a web page and you've got the author and year, you would not have to put a page number because typically they don't have page numbers. You could put the paragraph number if they're numbered. If you're using a web reference that does not have an author listed, you would do the title and year. Then at the bottom you would have your references. This is the book. Then you would have the author you have these in alphabetical order, so not necessarily the book would come in first, but just we depend on the alphabetical order. You do it by author or title of page. If there's no date listed, then you use ND. You don't use the copyright date. You list the date when the source was actually published on the web. If no date is given, then use ND. Then up in your in-text citation, you would use ND for there. So I have a little note here that this is for the book, this is for a web reference that has an author, and for a web reference that does not have an author. So this is what I expect for every discussion. I expect at least one reference and in-text citation. If you list the reference but you don't tell me what information came from the reference, it will not count. Now, if your whole post is quoted from one source, then you're not going to get the full points because you need to have some information from you, and you need to have some information that's reworded. It can't all be quoted. The week 1 assignment is a scavenger hunt. So let me go back to class and go to classroom, and you go to week 1, and you will find the scavenger hunt in blue. So you're going to open that, and you're going to answer these questions. And the questions come out of the textbook, the reading, check the required reading for the week, and see the page for the page numbers. You're going to save the worksheet on your desktop or in My Documents or Documents, and then you're going to submit the assignment. And let's see if it tells you. It doesn't specify how to name this one, so I would name it probably W1 and your last name. Okay, um, so we've learned some things about computer hardware, and in this picture, which I got from Shelley in Vermont to the introductory for 2010, Office 2010, and it shows some different of the computer hardware. Now maybe you have a laptop and so you won't have some of these things listed. The computer does 4 basic operations: input, process, output, and storage. So an input would be, for instance, from the keyboard, the mouse, or touch. Now that we have touch, processing is done on the motherboard through the chip. Output would be such as to the screen or a printer. Storage would be either to a hard drive, a flash drive, or in the cloud, which is used a lot today. System software coordinates all the activities of computer hardware, provides the capability for you to communicate with the computer, is also sometimes called the operating system. Application software is run by the operating system, such as Windows 7, 8, 10, or Mac OS. It provides abilities that are not included in the operating system. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook are examples of application software. Applications are available to other devices such as phones and tablets, and those are usually called apps. Review my highlights in the ebook. So I will be making highlights for the scavenger hunt, for the midterm. Those are the things that you're going to want to review. So go to the bookshelf, log in, click Manage, then Sharing, and click Add Subscription, and you're going to type my email in the box and click Save. My email can be found on the faculty info section. You'll then be able to see any highlights that I make in the book, and that will help you with the midterm. Things to review for the midterm: differences between desktop and laptop computers, difference between stylus, mouse, and keyboard, difference between CDR, CDRW, BDROM, and USB, an insertion point, difference between operating system, presentation software, word processing program, and spreadsheet program, computer input devices, kilobyte, the ribbon and the different tabs of the ribbon, most popular monitor types, LCD or CRT. These are things from this section of the reading that will be covered on the midterm. That's all I have for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know.